As we come together in this season of the Annunciation, our hearts are drawn to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verses 57 to 66, where we witness the joyous announcement about the birth of John the Baptist. Today's readings resonate with the miracle of life, echoing in Genesis, the preparation for the Lord's coming in Isaiah, and reflecting on God's unconventional choices in 1 Corinthians. Let us explore this beautiful passage and draw insights for our lives. Background: the Gospel of Luke opens with the angel Gabriel appearing to Zechariah, foretelling the birth of John the Baptist, a precursor to the arrival of the Messiah. Despite Zechariah's initial doubt, the prophecy unfolds, and we find ourselves in the midst of a momentous occasion, the birth of John. Point 1. Divine intervention and the gift of joy. The birth of John the Baptist is a testament to God's intervention in the lives of his people. Elizabeth, barren for years, conceives a child in her old age. This miraculous event fills their home with an indescribable joy. In a world that often wrestles with despair, this serves as a reminder of God's ability to bring joy even in the most unexpected circumstances. Comparative reference: Genesis chapter 21 verse 6, "And Sarah said, God has made laughter for me, everyone who hears will laugh over me." Point 2. Isaac and John, miracles woven in time. Today's readings weave a tapestry of miraculous births. In Genesis, we witness the birth of Isaac to an elderly Sarah. Similarly, John's birth to an aged Elizabeth echoes the pattern of God's extraordinary intervention in human affairs. These parallel stories emphasize the divine continuity and purpose across generations. Comparative reference: Genesis chapter 21 verse 2, "And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the time of which God had spoken to him." Point 3. Preparing the way for the Lord. Isaiah's prophetic words in chapter 40 resonate with the mission of John the Baptist. As we prepare to celebrate the birth of Christ, the call to prepare the way for the Lord echoes in our hearts. John's life, marked by humility and devotion, exemplifies this preparation for the coming Messiah. Comparative reference: Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3, "A voice cries, in the wilderness prepare the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God." Point 4. God's unconventional choices. In 1 Corinthians, Paul reflects on God's wisdom, contrasting it with human wisdom. God's choice of the humble and the unexpected, as seen in the births of Isaac and John, challenges our conventional understanding. John's birth in obscurity reminds us that God often chooses the seemingly insignificant to accomplish his divine plans. Comparative reference: 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 27, "But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise, God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong." Point 5. Embracing God's choice in our lives. As we reflect on these passages, we are invited to examine our lives in the light of God's choices. The birth of John the Baptist serves as a symbol of God's unexpected interventions and the transformative power of his choices. In a world that often values power and prestige, God's choice challenges us to embrace humility and simplicity. Quotes from Saints, Catechism, Teachings of Pope Francis, St. Mother Teresa, a beacon of humility, once said, "Be faithful in small things because it is in them that your strength lies." The Catechism of the Catholic Church emphasizes the dignity of human life, stating, "Man's life is sacred because from its beginning it involves the creative action of God and it remains forever in a special relationship with the Creator." Pope Francis, in his encyclical, Laudato Si', calls us to recognize the interconnectedness of all life and our responsibility to care for God's creation. Connecting to current affairs. In a world often shaped by power struggles and material pursuits, the narratives of Isaac and John the Baptist challenge us to reevaluate our priorities. In a society where success is often measured by societal standards, the divine choices in these passages remind us of the profound dignity inherent in every life. As we approach the celebration of Christ's birth, let us heed the call to prepare the way for the Lord in our hearts. May the joy of John's birth inspire us to embrace God's unconventional choices in our lives and recognize the sacredness in every human existence. In conclusion, let this season of Annunciation be a time of reflection, rejoicing in the miraculous births that paved the way for our salvation. May the humility of John the Baptist and the unexpected choices of God guide us in our journey of faith. Amen.